Welcome to a comprehensive guide on the various game settings in Paladins. In this video, we will explore the various settings that can be adjusted in the game and provide tips on how to get the most out of them. We will cover topics such as resolution, desync, visual effects, texture detail, gamma, in-game tips, auto-purchase items, damage numbers, reticle bloom, heal feed, team UI, combat log, allied death markers, and field of view. By the end of this video, you should have a better understanding of how to customize your game settings to get the best performance out of your PC. So let's get started. It is recommended to use full screen mode when playing, as windowed and borderless window may introduce input lag. However, you can still minimize the game with F11 when needed. Anti-aliasing smoothens out jagged edges and blurriness, and while it may be demanding on your GPU, it can be beneficial for lower resolutions. Meanwhile, v-sync should be disabled unless you are experiencing screen tearing, as it can introduce input lag. The resolution scale affects the in-game world and characters while leaving the HUD the same, so lowering it might help lower-end PCs achieve better performance without having to make the HUD and menus lower resolution. Raising it over 100 can put a lot more demand on the GPU while offering minimal benefits. Visual effects are a matter of personal preference, and whatever your PC can handle is fine, as long as the frame rate can stay stable at the monitor's refresh rate. Texture detail can have a significant impact, as low settings may make objects like Mako's shield less visible. Gamma is 22 at default, but can be turned up to between 25 and 30 to increase visibility in dark areas. It is also recommended to disable in-game tips and auto-purchase items. Damage numbers are good for demonstrating damage falloff, and reticle bloom can show the weapon spread, though it is recommended to turn it off or use the circle crosshair which has the dot in it. Finally, it is a good idea to enable heal feed, team UI, combat log, and allied death markers, as these can meaningfully help with in-game awareness. The field of view, or FOV, is the extent of the observable game world that is seen at any given moment. It is the angle of view that the game camera has, and it is expressed in degrees. Professional gamers tend to keep their FOV somewhere between 100 and 120, but there is no one end-all be-all standard that everyone must follow. A FOV that is too low can create a claustrophobic feeling, while a FOV that is too high can be overwhelming and create a fishbowl effect. For someone starting out, it is recommended to try 110 FOV as a good middle ground. However, the role of the player can also be a factor in determining the FOV. For example, tank players, who are usually at the front, may want to keep their FOV at 120 because they see less of what is going on and can benefit from the extra FOV. Lower FOV can make targets appear bigger and make it slightly easier to aim at them, but there could be a sacrifice of environmental awareness as a result. Many players who come from FPS games such as TF2 and Overwatch 2 may be more comfortable with aiming at lower FOVs, so they may perform better at a FOV they are used to. Changes to FOV are like a change in sensitivity. If you lower your FOV, you need to move the mouse more to look around, and with a higher FOV, you can look around with less mouse movement. If you want the same team /360, you may want to increase your sensitivity when lowering FOV and decrease sensitivity when raising the FOV. If you are currently using sensitivity of 15, I would highly recommend trying to lower it to between 6 and 8. It may feel awkward and uncomfortable at first, but give it a legitimate chance. Try it for 2 weeks and see how you feel. If you still don't like it, you can go back up. It is important to understand that the sensitivity setting is not relative. Example of this is 1 being low and 100 being high. It's the absolute number your mouse's DPI is multiplied. EDPI equals DPI multiplied by the in-game sensitivity settings. Generally, you want to be under 10,000 EDPI, with the common range being between 2,000 and 7,500 for many pro Paladins players and experienced FPS players in general. The majority of pro Paladins players tend to be within the 2 to 8 range on the in-game setting with 800 DPI. You do not want it to exceed 15, and should honestly consider even going under 10. The developers may have set the default to 15 for laptop trackpad users, or to initially make transitioning console players feel comfortable. 15 may seem fine to beginners, but for those who have experience with PC gaming and first-person shooters, this is actually considered to be on the extreme high end for most people. Using a sensitivity that is too high can have a lot of negative effects. Landing headshots requires an extremely tiny and subtle movement which is very difficult to make, and even body shots are missed. Players often over-aim. Even tracking can be messy all over the place. Subtle factors like stiffness and coldness in hands or even a mild shakiness can mess up your aim. The player puts excessive strain on their wrist. The player relying on their wrist to do all of the camera movement, yet not using their elbows at all, results in the player looking around less and being less environmentally aware due to their wrist having a limited range of movement. And that is going to wrap up this video. I hope this video has been helpful in understanding the importance of the different game settings and how it can affect your gaming experience. Like and subscribe to receive notifications for our future videos. Thanks for watching.